What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Black Sheep Family and Autism. My name is Uncall. If you're new here, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell. We down the gang. Today, I got my husband with me.
My bad. What's happening, people? It's your boy Jay from Jay's Place TV. Feeding my face. Y'all come on over there and subscribe to your boy. You heard me? Thumbs it up while you over there too. Catch a couple videos. I'm pretty sure you'll find something that you like.
So, and in the beginning of the video, make sure you smash that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, share this video on Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever you got. Share this video out. Also, I have a beauty channel, Black Sheep. What is it? Beauty? I think that'd be linked in the description. His channel should be linked in the description. So today's video will be basically kind of like an interview, but like more information about Julian autism, some things that we found beneficial, how do we find stuff, and it's just, I don't know, what we have learned that could be beneficial for Julian. So I don't know what I'm gonna title it, but I was like, I'm gonna make an autism video. I just took down a few notes that most people asked, or most people don't know, or some things that most people will run into when they figure out that y'all have autism. Right. Also, I'll be asking JD's questions from my phone. I just be asking him, and we be having kind of a conversation. I'll probably wait till you get the reading.
No, I'm with it. It's like a snack bang interview.
What do you think a weighted blanket would be beneficial for Julian? And is it like surprising to know that like most kids with autism, a weighted blanket actually help them?
Well, I find it surprising that a weighted blanket of all things would actually, issue out comfort. And I do think it'll help him.
Me too.
I don't know, like a lot of the stuff that we're finding out with autism is like, it may work for this child, but would it work for
our son?
Yeah. You know what I mean? So now it's more of a trial and error type of thing.
When you heard of, like, when I first asked you, like, babe, you think I should give Julian a weighted blanket? Like, what was your first, like, reaction, the first thought that came to your head?
Military.
What?
Because sometimes, like, when we get into really cold environments, if you get hurt, they will actually give you like I guess it'll be called like a weighted blanket. You know what I mean? It's got it's like a thermal shield in it. Anybody in the military know what I'm talking about. It's like a blanket, but it has a layer of something that keeps your body warm without having to be plugged in. So that's the first thing that I thought of was a blanket like that. You know what I mean?
Not a blanket that actually have weight in it and heavier.
No, I thought like more or less like you know anybody in law enforcement? There's two different types of bulletproof vests. It's the really, really thick ones and it's the really, really thin ones. And that's the really, really thin ones are the ones that I actually, came to mind with. Because they kind of form fitting versus the actual thick ones that are like wood that you can't be in. So I thought more along the lines of military and bulletproof vest type stuff. But the way he likes being under covers, I think it actually works.
Yeah. What do you think about Epsom salt? Some people, it's a specific type of salt that they say it's not Epsom salt, or it is Epsom salt, but it's started with M. I can't think of the name. But are you shocked that that actually helps like relax? Is some kids with autism, Epsom salt and stuff like that, like lavender salt, and I can't think of the word, but it started with M. That salt actually helps relax kids with autism because most kids with autism have sleep problems. Are you shocked to learn that most kids with autism have sleep problems, and some parents actually do give their kid like Epsom salt to relax them, to help them go to sleep naturally?
Yeah, it's shocking to me because when I think Epsom salt, I think
old people,
yeah,
bones hurting,
muscles and stuff like that. But
at the same time, you think about it, they do relax you too.
Yeah, kind of like if we was to give him like the what is that chamomile or chamomile? I don't know how to pronounce it. A tea.
Yeah.
And you know it's a relaxing tea. You know what I mean? So to hear the Epsom salt, it's kind of like, do he need a little baby massage before he go to bed? You know what I mean? So it shocked me when you brought that to my attention because it's like.
Did you feel like he was too young, or did you think like, dang, I never thought about that, but it actually does relax me as an adult, so it might work for him?
I never would have thought that.
Yeah.
I didn't think age restricted wise. I just thought that like that, and it is like one of those. You know, how you be watching Facebook and you find those the home hacks as they call it now.
Yeah.
I was like, well, dang, yeah, that do make sense because it relaxes me and sometimes put me to sleep.
Yeah.
After a warm bath, you know what I mean?
Is it odd to you that it's a lot of kids with autism that have like a sleep disorder?
Yeah, and I can kind of see that with them having so many different thoughts and different, you know, energy levels. You know what I mean? Because sometimes Julian be all over the place.
Yeah.
So I can imagine him wanting to go to sleep, but everything in him tells him to stay woke.
Yeah, I honestly was like something wrong with my baby because like he would just be up like a day, sleep a few hours, and just be up like, oh well, like I'm up.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, dude, you supposed to sleep, you know, 10, 12 hours and you are up.
Not sleeping that long.
Yeah. And so it was a concern, but now I see that, you know, he's not by himself with this, and it's not as, still a concern, but it's precautions that I need to take to actually get him relaxed enough to actually go to sleep.
I wonder if that also, I mean, I know every child goes through that stage, but I wonder is that for about 2 months, Julian was getting up at 3:25, 3:20, and we would always know because he would come directly into the room.
Yeah.
And I wonder, you know, is that like normal child stuff? Because I think my sister used to do it, or I used to do it, or somebody, you know, when we were little used to do that too. But it just was like once you start talking about sleep problems, he would come into bed with us and literally crash out.
Yeah.
Like he been up all night type crash. So.
And at that point, I just thought it was, you know, a comfort level. Like maybe he just wasn't comfortable in there by himself or something like that. So how do you feel about the reality that he really is on the spectrum? Like your first initial feeling?
It was sad to me. You know what I mean? It was like, dang, like I went through the whole was I too old thing. I went through, you know, should I pay better attention to like the Infamil, the brand of Infamil, like
the shots,
all of that. You know what I mean? And it was just like, dang man, like now he got to grow up dealing with something that I might have caused until I figured out that autism is autism.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The spectrum is a spectrum. Even if you work out in the gym and healthy, drinking all the tea, never ate meat and vegetable or whatever, you can still have a child that's on the spectrum.
Yeah.
That's what made me relax away from the my fault thing and start looking at him like, okay, well, let's get you right.
Yeah.
That was my initial take on it.
When we got the diagnosis, did you understand it?
I did not, and still don't. Still don't. All I know is, you know, what you found out, what the doctors have said, what I've Googled, the videos that I've watched. So I think autism is one of those things that are kind of like, this might be a bad reference, but I think it's kind of like the Bible. Like you can read it and 19 different people gonna understand it different.
Exactly.
I think that's.
But not only that, your child can have autism, and 19 different kids on the same age, on the same spectrum, can have 19 different problems.
Exactly.
They may have some stuff similar and some stuff not similar. Like Julian walk on his tippy toes sometimes.
Right.
It's kids with autism that don't never walk regular. They always are on their tippy toes.
Yeah.
So when I said, I'd be like, oh, well, that's kind of normal for a kid with autism, but like, I'm not really, should be concerned about it, but I'm not really concerned about it because it's kids that just walks around on their tippy toes with autism all the time. And if he did it all the time, I'd be concerned, but he do it to me like what a regular kid would do.
Yeah.
But it's also normal with his autism.
Yeah, I really don't understand it, but the things that have been brought to my attention about it, I understand those things.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Now, there's still probably a lot of stuff hidden in the closet, in the dark, up under the cover somewhere that I don't know of. But when it's brought to my attention, I try to key in on it. And like when we see him do certain stuff, and I be like, babe, is that what they was talking about?
Yeah.
That's how, that's how it's coming to where I can understand it, is actually watching it.
So when we first got this diagnosis, and I guess you was off to yourself, did you cry? I did, because I had the whole guilt and pity party, and like, what did I do wrong, and why my child, and all that other stuff.
I think I cried several times since then.
Yeah.
And I think I still, at times,
feel bad, because it's like, dude, with me, it's like I don't know how to help you. I don't know how to fix this. And I know I can't fix him because it's nothing that he can help. I can help. Is
time.
Yeah, it's just gonna take the right therapy and stuff like that. It's gonna take work and effort, and it's a hard pill to swallow when you know that your child might not never be able to be normal. When you think about things like, is he gonna get married, have kids, and not even that, but is he ever gonna speak, like, in a sentence?
Yeah.
Is he ever gonna get to talking? It's some people that don't talk to their 6. It's some kids that don't talk to their 16. It's some kids that don't talk to their 26 with autism. Like, it's a whole spectrum, and it's like I want to push the envelope so that you can start speaking, but at the same time, is me pushing the envelope gonna push you too hard, or if me not pushing you enough gonna handicap you? Because at the end of the day, it's like I don't want to handicap you. I know that you need some extra attention and some extra care, but I don't want it to be too aggressive. But I don't want to be like, oh, well, it's okay, and you're not talking, and oh well type thing.
Yeah. I think sometimes the most recent time that I can think of is like when he be asking for something and I gotta make it out or make him point it out. You know what I mean? It kind of hurts my feelings because I want to be able to know what you're saying when you're saying it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, sometimes it do get me in my feelings, and other times when I feel like it's getting me in my feelings, I just lay on the floor and let them crawl all over me. So I kind of, get my own little him therapy, so to say.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I deal with it. When I get in my feelings, I just kind of lay around and let him play, and I be like, okay. But I watch him even when he play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's been quite a few times.
So when we got the diagnosis, like, they set us down and it was 3 of them and stuff like that, and we actually got the diagnosis of autism. Did you about figure it? Did you just like, at what point did you just kind of come to the realization like he really might have autism?
For me, it was earlier than the doctors, only because leading up to the doctors, daycare was saying stuff, which made us kind of look into different areas, Google, YouTube, stuff like that, and it was like, yeah, but I think he's gonna be straight. You know what I mean? It was always that. I think he's gonna be straight, but yeah, babe, you see they say right there, and he do that. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like I was in there, and I was like, okay, just tell me where it is, because I think it's there. I'm hoping it's not, but you know, I don't want to be hoping for something and then be completely devastated, which I still was, but it was just like, okay, I about figured, okay, so what do we do now?
Yeah.
You know
Now,
what
was that hard to swallow when we did get the diagnosis and nobody said anything on how we should do, how we, like, the whole fighting for the AVA is something that's going to help him. Y'all gave him this diagnosis and you know that he has something, but you're not really helping us as far as with programs. I didn't like the fact that we got the diagnosis, and when we got the diagnosis, it was like, here, your kid has autism, like a prescription of him having fucking autism. Like, we about figured that, but what do we do?
Yeah, I mean,
and we had to wait either 6 months to a year to talk to somebody again, and still waiting, basically.
Yeah, I necessarily, that's what I didn't like. You know what I mean? They were great with the diagnosis and what they were saying, but once that was over and we got a whole pamphlet to take home that was like a phone book, it's like, what the hell do we do with all of this?
Yeah.
Who do we even contact in here?
Like it gave us like advocates and lawyers and his rights and all this stuff. But if something happened, like when do we need to call his advocate, and when do we need to call the lawyers, and when do we need to do this type of stuff? Like like just when he's in school, or do we start this now when we think that he's not getting treated fairly? Like
I think.
And then the ABA programs, like that's something totally different.
I think in the midst of waiting for those other therapies and courses to open up, I think somebody ought to create Autism 101.
Yeah.
And I think it should be like a weekend class or in the evenings type of class, because while you're waiting for somebody to tell you what to do with a diagnosis you got a year ago, that's a lot of time for a child to continuously grow and develop.
Yeah.
And if you have a once a week course of Autism 101, parents and families are going to come and they're going to bring their children, and they're going to sit down and say, hey, look, I know you guys are waiting for this. Who all is experiencing this? Yeah. And kind of, you know, coach you along while you're waiting. That way, when you get that therapy, you've been hands-on yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think that they feel like you should just be in Facebook groups and talk to the moms of kids like that. And that's something that like irks my nerves, is for you to sit here and tell me, well, just make friends with other moms that have kids with autism. So I walk up to you, hey, your son got autism, mine do too. So what is it like? Like, that's just not even how you, what?
And the crazy thing is the craziest thing about autism is people look perfectly normal that have autism.
Yeah.
There's nobody walking around limping on one leg and, oh, that person has autism. You can't point those people out.
You can't pinpoint them, but my thing be like, I mean, it be Facebook groups, but it's kind of like any Facebook group. Like, you don't know who the administrator is. People don't talk to you about they like, okay, I'm in a group for moms, and they talk about, well, what did you do about potty training? It's not like it's somebody in a group posting, hey, my child has autism. He didn't start going to the potty till he was 5, and we did this because this worked with him with potty training. It's not like one of those type of groups. So you telling me to go to Facebook and find autism groups, and I go to Facebook and I find these autism groups, and no one in the groups are posting anything.
Mm-hmm.
So how am I gonna sit here and make local friends that has kids with autism? I just don't even understand how you, like, I understand the fact that, hey, I'm in Arkansas, Keisha over here is in Arkansas, and Tim over here is in Arkansas, and we all three have kids with autism. But see, we live in Little Rock, they live in Fort Smith, and they live just on the border of Arkansas. We don't sit here like, what?
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I just think they need to have a better end result. Not end result, but waiting period. It ought to be something established. And if it is and we don't know it, it's probably in that damn phone book. You know what I mean? So it's still not helpful because by the time you get 12 pages into it, you feel like your child died. So I mean, me personally, like, even if there is a weekly phone call to say, hey, I'm so and so, I'm assigned to Julian and his autism, what's been going on.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
You have questions about anything or anything.
That's it. That's what needs to happen right there.
Yeah.
That would be so good to hit the speakerphone and sit here for 30 minutes to an hour. I don't give a damn how long it is because it's beneficial. I'll be on the phone for an hour with people that don't talk about a damn thing.
Yeah.
So it would be good to receive some type of something in the midst of this waiting period because it's mind-boggling, man. Because so many people are dealing with this and so many people are lost.
Mm-hmm.
And
the crazy thing is, like, that's why I sit here and talk about this stuff on my channel for, like, awareness, because people don't talk about it. Yeah. It's like a lot of people are dealing with it, but no one's talking about it. So it's a lot of people that feel alone. They feel like people don't understand them, so they don't talk about it.
Yeah. Either that, and, you know, maybe I'm wrong, but I grew up in the 80s, and a lot of times disabilities were shameful to people. So even though it's 2019, I think some people still have that shameful thought process with autism. You feel what I'm saying? So somebody could be dealing with it, they can know their child has it, but they're too shameful to say it because then the world looks at their child like they're special. You feel what I'm saying? And that is why I think the autism community, if there is one, it's so hard to find.
Yeah. Because
people are really hiding away from, you know, speaking that or saying that. And
well, I'm not gonna stunt. Like, if I'm in, like, the thing that irritates me about people is, let's just say I take Julian to the park, Julian Jackson to the park. Julian's 3, it's another kid that's 3. The kid that's 3, the normal kid that don't have no problems, is talking and talking and talking, and Julian's not saying nothing. It's not because he don't want to talk to the kid, it's because he don't know how to communicate. And for somebody to look at it, I'm like, well, why isn't he talking? Well, how old is he? He's big enough to be talking. Like, he's like, I don't feel like I should have to explain the fact that he has autism, and you're talking about a child that can't help the fact that he can't talk.
Yeah, but they don't know that though.
If you don't know that, I still feel like you shouldn't be somewhere like, well, why isn't he talking? If somebody's child is at a certain age where I feel like in my adulthood that by 2 you should be talking, by 3 that you should be talking, don't you think that we would know that? So I want to sit here and ask somebody, well, why isn't your child talking? Like something's wrong with your damn child.
Yeah.
Like, it's disgusting you and it's getting on your nerves that my kid don't know how to talk.
People are crazy, man. That is like what it all boiled down to. Like, man, it's so many reasons that a child cannot be talking, walking, and
any of it. But I just think, where is your common sense? If I go walk up to a kid, and like, even with my older 2 kids, if they walk up to a kid and the kid is not talking, or you know how it's some kids that have autism and they flip their hands and stuff like that, and they be like, well, you know how they pull their body jerking and stuff like that, and some of them be aggressive and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I have always knew that, I don't know what that is. I don't even know if that's autism, but with those kids like that, I would just get my child and move my kid. I'm not gonna sit here because I know by just looking at the child that can't help that and something's wrong with them.
Yeah.
Like I know that, and so if someone is not speaking, and I feel like you should be speaking, I'ma just kind of be like, oh, well, something, he must have a speech delay or something. Something's wrong with the kid.
As long as they playing.
And not hurting my child.
Yeah. Like, it's cool. You know, I might watch a little closer or something to make sure, you know, because you gotta understand that if you see a child that is not on a level that you can kind of, you know, I mean, unless you dumb yourself, you should be able to look at a child and be like, you know, something is a little off. But, hey, they having fun. They having the time of their life. They might not even be doing nothing but standing there.
Yeah.
But they laughing with each other about whatever is funny in baby life.
Yeah, right.
I would watch the situation because, like you say, you know, sometimes any disability might have you a little over aggressive. I'm not gonna jump up and run over there as a parent and push no child down or strike no child because they struck my child, because I already have, as a parent, saw that this might be a little, you know, but they're having fun, so I don't want to go over there and be like, no, because the child with the disability is going to feel isolated because you just don't play with him. Something wrong with him, Timmy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's dumb as that's stupid.
But to see the kids that be jerking and aggressive, I have noticed that they, mom, dad, whatever parent, normally go kind of get that child. Yeah. They don't just be like, oh, well, I don't want your kid playing with them. Yeah. I think it be because they don't know what their kid's going to do.
Right.
But I guess that too. But yeah. I have noticed even those parents that have kids that you can clearly tell have a disability, it's like they kind of feel ashamed that their child have a disability. So you don't just be like, well, why is he jerking like that? And why is he reacting like that? Like,
yeah, and I've seen
none of my fucking business, nigga. Like they got their kid and they went on about their business. Let them people be great. Don't look at them weird and all that.
And what I've seen and what I've noticed, even on playgrounds, before Julian and Jackson was playing on them, because I fish a lot, so I made like parks.
Yeah.
I've noticed parents that'll see their child playing with somebody's child and kind of glance around and see where that child parent is, and then they'll go over there and be like, hey, my name is so-and-so, that's so-and-so playing with your child. You know, he's autistic or he has Down syndrome or whatever. That kind of, you know, that kind of reveal a little bit of that, so that if there is any issue with them playing with each other, somebody get roughhoused or something, somebody won't just jump up and be like, why did your child just slap the hell out of my child? You know what I mean? I've seen parents do that, you know what I mean? Because any type of fights or roughhousing could take place. And I've seen people do that, like, you know, but it's far and few between, but I've seen it, and it's just like, oh, that was different. Because it takes a lot to walk up to somebody else and be like, hey, Timmy's playing with Jerome, but, you know, Jerome is kind of a little different. You know what I mean? Yeah. And at that point in time, they might not sit next to each other and make buddy-buddy. The parent go on about their business and watch their child, but it was just kind of something that was let be known, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, I salute the people who do that, but, you know, you just can't talk to everybody nowadays because some people is just a little special. So, you know, it is what it is, but I don't know, it's just like, as an adult, you ought to know when a child is kind of
have a problem that can't be.
Yeah, like real talk. And they don't, you know, like I said, they don't mean just jump up and be like, come on, Julie, you can't play with him type thing. You know, we don't rock like that. We just watch and be like, y'all be careful. And most of the time, Julian is probably playing with a child for like 3 seconds anyway, unless they chasing each other. And then it's funny because he about to die laughing. The child is chasing him around about to die laughing. And we like, what is funny about running in one circle?
Yeah.
Y'all didn't even went in a circle like this. Y'all going literally shoulder to shoulder around in circles, and they are having the time of their life. You know what I mean? So it's just it just, to me, that part of it falls back on the parent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
y'all, this is basically part one of this video. I'm gonna end it now because it's like at 30 minutes. So we either do part two here in a second or on another day. Yeah, I guess you want to say?
no, not really. Hopefully y'all are actually enjoying y'all holiday season. I know it's about to start. So season's greetings to everyone out there.
So happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
More than
yeah.
likely, Thanksgiving would have been past by the time I put this up. But for Vlogmas, y'all better bet y'all getting videos every day.
Yep, so happy belated Turkey Day or happy Turkey Day. And Merry Christmas. You know, it's a couple different religions. Everybody, whatever you celebrate, y'all hopefully are enjoying it and having fun. Yeah.
Deuces.